What's going on, guys? This is your boy, the real M14, and I'm joined by my man, Guy Cast co-host, the regular SB.
Yo, what up?
And we're going to try something a little different this time. We're going to just do some general talk about Pokemon. We're going to go like talk about different types of Pokemon, and like we're going to talk about some of our favorites, some of our not so favorites, and maybe just some combinations that we thought were pretty cool and with the Pokemon they put out. So our first typing is going to be fire type.
Yes.
So you want to take this first, or
I think you should go at you should have it.
I'll go first on this. Like
All right.
the reason I pick fire first, honestly, is because my favorite Pokemon of all time is a fire type, and that's Typhlosion.
Okay.
Like the reason why, like I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Gen 2 was always my favorite Pokemon generation. And as you can guess, your boy started with a Cyndaquil.
Yeah.
And, I got Typhlosion. Like, I just love Typhlosion. I nicknamed it Hellraiser. I nicknamed my Typhlosion Hellraiser in any game. I probably use Typhlosion maybe, I don't know, like maybe at least 3 or 4 times in like 4 generations of Pokemon. My favorite game of all time was Soul Silver. So, now, here's a fun fact about Typhlosion that you may not know. Like the Pokemon Company, I know they tried very hard to make every Pokemon like kind of unique, especially like stat wise. Here's a weird thing with Typhlosion. Look up Typhlosion's Pokemon stats and then look up Charizard's Pokemon stats. You will find that they have exactly the same stats in every area.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. The only difference is one is just a pure fire Pokemon and the other is a fire and flying Pokemon.
Yeah.
They learn different moves though,
Yeah.
but it's just kind of odd how they made his stats a carbon copy of Charizard's.
Yeah.
That's I don't think that exists with any other Pokemon. It's just those two for some reason.
Maybe like legendaries or pseudo legendaries, but I don't think
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah. Like with legendaries, it be seeming like they kind of just take one stat and move it here and take this other stat and move it there. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah,
do
with
that with a
like
lot of
Mewtwo and like
legendaries.
Deoxys at the top with the stat pattern. I think Arceus too, right? It's kind
I
of up there.
believe if the last time I checked, I think Arceus had like the highest base stats of any Pokemon.
Yeah, it should be high. Like it's Arceus, then Mewtwo, then Deoxys, right? But Deoxys has like some super forms, but then again,
Mhm.
Mewtwo has mega forms that's stronger than Deoxys. So
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff nowadays, because I don't really remember much past like Generation 4 is basically why I stopped playing Pokemon. But
yeah,
like as far as like a Typhlosion, uh, I
yeah,
know mine's had like I like it has high special attack. The attack is decent, but really if you're looking at like the best stats, you're looking at special attack, you're looking at speed.
yeah,
Um, mine's had eruption, which
yeah,
I felt is an absolute must for like a Pokemon type like Typhlosion because
yeah,
before the only Pokemon that learned eruption was like Camerupt, which
yeah,
is extremely slow,
yeah,
and Groudon. And Groudon's speed is kind of, but a fast Pokemon learning eruption is very valuable because eruption is a move that it's based on how much health the Pokemon has left that's using it. That's
yeah,
the power. If you have full health and you let off an eruption, it'll do max damage and it already takes out 150 and it's devastating. So if you can just get a quick eruption off, you can potentially sweep. So
yeah,
I gave mine's Heat Wave. I like to have, since I specialize in double battles, I like to have moves that like hit both Pokemon.
yeah,
Earthquake, you know what I mean? That's always a fun move. And Typhlosion's attack build is pretty decent. And Thunder Punch, obviously for the coverage because it's weak to water.
yeah. So what do you call it? So what's like four other fire Pokemon that you mess with heavy?
Hmm. I'm glad that you asked because this is going to be a kind of controversial thing I wanted to talk about. Arcanine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Arcanine.
Yeah,
Now
definitely
we
on my
all know the
anti-flu.
whole
Arcanine is up there for me.
we all know the whole comparisons that they've been doing since Generation One with Arcanine and Ninetales.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And there are a lot of people. I don't want to offend anybody. There are a lot of people out there that love Ninetales.
yeah,
Ninetales is a very popular Pokemon. You know what I mean? For good reason.
yeah,
But when I look at Arcanine versus Ninetales, any way that I look at it, Arcanine wins that battle.
yo. I have what do you call it? One word that's made by two words put together.
But,
Extreme speed.
bro.
Come on, son.
I'm so glad they made that move a thing. Like,
Come on.
bro, I'm telling you guys, man. Like, I know people love Ninetales, but when you sit down, first thing I go to is the stat comparison, right?
Yeah,
Arcanine beats out Ninetales 4 stats to 2.
yeah,
Ninetales only best Arcanine with special defense and speed, and Arcanine wins in everything else. You know what
yeah.
I mean? And it's like,
If you have
don't
extreme
forget
speed, advantage doesn't mean as much.
exactly. That's another thing. Don't forget about the abilities that each Pokemon has.
Yeah,
I think Ninetales has Flash Fire, and maybe it could have something else. I'm kind of like, I'm thinking Gen 4. Maybe they gave it something else. But Arcanine, I think, can have Flash Fire, and of course, the main thing, Intimidate.
yeah,
Like Arcanine is a flat out beast. Remember, Arcanine can have Thunder Fang.
yeah. And then the thing, see, yeah, like there's so many moves it can have. I'm not. I forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe that mine has earthquake and like.
I'm not sure if it can have Earthquake. I don't know about all that.
Let me let me as we continue to discuss this. Let me
We'll
go
pull up
check that
the
real quick. Yeah,
pull up
but
the joints. Nah, but to be honest with you, Ninetales learned some sexy moves. Like
yeah,
when
yeah,
you look at the move pool, I mean, you have to kind of work to get Ninetales to have, like, you got to breed it to have what's that move called? I think it's Energy Ball.
yeah,
You could breed a Vulpix to have Energy Ball, and
yeah,
that could give you great coverage against ground rock types, which you're weak to, and water types.
yeah.
So that's very
That
sexy, and
is,
also extra sensory, a rare move that not a lot of Pokemon learn. It's a psychic move.
yeah,
Takes out 80, and I think you get 30 PP. It's great.
yeah. That's not bad at all. But I think like they did a bit to improve Ninetales because I don't think Ninetales is really that good like in red or blue compared to Growlithe and Arcanine.
I always felt like Ninetales is more of a Pokemon for show.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Arcanine to me is more of like for a show, and he could actually whoop your ass.
See, I don't even have the best Arcanine, but he's still like they're just
Let me
the
see.
variety in the moves, the move pool.
Was that Fire Fang? Flamethrower?
Person's play rough,
Play rough,
or
flamethrower,
crunch,
crunch.
and outrage. And I wasn't even trying. Like
Whoa, where's your extreme speed?
they don't have extreme speed in Pokemon. Let's go. Yeah,
Oh, that's Let's Go. Yeah.
yeah, because it's supposed to be red and blue. So, which still doesn't make sense.
Nah, but that doesn't make sense either because where the hell are you getting crunch and outrage from?
Yeah, or play rough.
Or
None.
play rough?
I don't know. I guess extreme speed would have been like two.
Too overpowered or something?
Yeah, because extreme speed is like Rayquaza's. That's Rayquaza's like
Signature.
move. Yeah,
It's good. And that'll bring us into our next one in a little bit. but we're not gonna go there quite yet.
Yeah, that's
Now, let me think of some fire Pokemon. Like I like Torkoal.
Torkoal. I wasn't a fan. You were,
I'd say I could understand why. He's not like the most flashiest Pokemon. Like I
yeah.
don't know.
I'm a
I beat the game with one.
I'm gonna hit you with my fives real quick. So what do you call it?
Like, go
So
ahead, go ahead.
of course we already spoke about two of them, Typhlosion or Canine. But my,
Hmm.
my number one is Charizard. My number one is Charizard. Like
Everybody loves Charizard.
I remember when my pops bought me red and blue, son. Like it was, son. I spoke about this with you earlier. Like it was the best feeling. Period. Like I never looked back.
I I like Charizard, and there's no question that he's a beast. And his move, you already know his move pool is great.
Yeah,
But coming into red and blue,
yeah,
I chose Squirtle, man. I'm a
yeah.
Blastoise person. So
I feel you on that. But what you call it? And another thing that's so great about him is I see like he's the second or third mascot. It's pretty clear at this point
mhm.
because he gets like he's the first character, one of the first characters to get like the newest form. Like he has an X form, he has a Y form. Most Pokemon either have one or another.
Yeah.
One of the few that has both, just like Mewtwo, whatever. He got a Gigantamax form. All the starters got it, but he's the only one. He was the first one that was revealed, and like I said, he was the only one to get a Mega X and a Mega Y. And I just love Charizard. Besides the fact that it was the first Game Boy Color game I ever got, it was also his relationship with Ash in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the next one I got on my list, which is Magmar. Because
Magmar.
the
What about the evolution?
nah, because I like when they came out with Magmar, I didn't really care about Pokemon at that time. Like it was behind me
Not
at that time.
not gonna lie. Now that you brought it up, I gotta put Magmortar on my list.
But the reason why Magmar is so high up there is because I remember when Ash got to Cinnabar Island in the cartoon,
You
and like
talking about that fight?
yeah, and Charizard and Magmar had an epic fight. Like
It was classic.
remember, and that's the fight that's also the battle that made Charizard start to listen to Ash. Remember, after that,
No, no, no. That was something else.
no, I'm telling you,
I
I remember
remember.
vividly at that
I
point in
remember.
time.
No, 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 no. I remember specifically there was an episode where Charizard lost some battle and got froze, and after the battle he was still frozen, and Ash had to like defrost him, and that's when Charizard started like fucking with Ash.
Nah, I'm telling you, Magmar versus Charizard episode because
No,
he
I
couldn't.
know what you're talking about, but Charizard
That was
just
like,
wanted to win. Charizard wasn't necessarily listening to Ash like that.
Yeah, he just wanted to win, but that's where it started, though. I'm not saying
I
he was
guess, yeah,
obedient all the time after that, but that's where it started
yeah.
because like he needed Ash's help to win that battle. I remember that shit vividly. And then the last one on my list that we didn't speak about yet, Blaziken. Like,
Can't really say nothing about that. Like
Sky
Blaziken, and
like
Blaziken is popular too.
I love Sky Uppercut. You could catch other Pokemon when they flying. It was
Hmm.
fire. So what you call it? Skeet. Basically, what we're doing
I
right.
forgot about that.
Yeah, we just going over
Yeah,
like
what are we doing?
the most fire, like pun intended, the most fire Pokemon. Like
Hmm.
fire Pokemon that we mess with the most. So
Hmm.
we went through Charizard, Magmar, Arcanine, Blaziken, Typhlosion, and also Torkoal, right? That's who you said?
Yeah, yeah. I like Torkoal.
Yeah, and we mentioned Ninetales also.
What about Magmortar? Y'all don't fuck with Magmortar. That's
Bro,
my
that's what I'm
guy.
Yeah.
saying,
People
bro.
were just asking me that. I told them like I don't really mess with Magmortar because like when they introduced him, I didn't really care for the games like that. Like my connection to Magmar,
Mm.
Game
Yeah, I wish they would have
Boy Color joint, and from
threw
like
him in there a little sooner because he was a Gen 4 release.
yeah,
Yeah.
He fire though.
and Gen 4 is kind of where I fell back and then I got back into it probably and I didn't
And
get
I'm like in
until
Cinder Race right now. Sword and Shield, fire
Cinderace
starter.
is dope, but like I wouldn't put him in my top 5, but I definitely mess with him. Man. The Pyro Ball.
Well, y'all named all the best ones already. Shit.
Yeah.
Now, I was gonna say
And
like some. I was gonna say some I didn't like. Like, here's the thing, because like I already discussed the whole Arcanine versus Ninetales thing already, but there was a Pokemon that I don't know. It just never really was that appealing, like Rapidash. I never wanted to use a Rapidash.
Nah, I mess with Rapidash. Not as far as battling.
I felt like
I
they
wanted to
waited
use a Rapidash.
Yeah, I wanted a reason to use him, and I felt like they took too long to give him a reason to use him. Like, I mean, later on, it learned Mega Horn, which is fire, but that was like how many gens later?
But I feel like it'd have been perfect if they had allowed you to ride Pokemon a lot earlier in the series.
Yeah.
Like as soon as they went to, I feel like since Ruby or maybe Black and White, they should have allowed you to do that. Like because like that's the only time I like Rapidash is when I'm playing Let's Go and just using it to get from point A to point B.
I never rode Rapidash for point Let's Go. I never thought of that.
Yeah, it's the only thing that like Pokemon I rather like use is either Charizard or Arcanine.
Everybody remembers that Pokemon episode where Ash was riding the Ponyta, and the Ponyta's fire didn't burn them.
Yeah, he had to like trust the flames. Yeah. Some weird shit.
Towards the end of the race, him at first. It evolved in the Rapidash while he was riding it and won the race.
Oh yeah, that is what happened.
And that was in the intro, right?
So long.
Like him riding the Rapidash is in the intro, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
You teach me and I teach you. Some shit like that.
The party going on and on and on. On and on and on. Hey, bartender, gotta make this drink more strong. Trying to activate tonight. Nigga turn me to another guy. Woke up to you, nice to meet you. Style like a Leah, girl, you're more than a woman. Hey, with that body so feature. You a real diva, no Beyonce feature. I'ma need ya. Get up off that ass, let me teach ya. Yeah, you ain't even gotta stunt. I ain't even gonna lie. Cause you walked up in the club, I've been giving you the eye. We can dance if you want, get distracted if you like.